Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello and welcome to Footy Judge. More people listen. Arsenal are serious about winning the Premier League. Actually, they might win every single game. They might smash Spurs in the North London Derby because they smashed Chelsea yesterday. Liverpool Merseyside Derby today. It's a make or break today for Liverpool. Can they win with the injuries again? As Jota is injured again, as you guys know. Manchester City play Brighton. A lot of people are praying, hoping, thinking that Brighton will do something, and at the end we know the game will end about like 6-7-0 to Manchester City. That's what is going to happen. And also we'll touch on the championship with Leeds. Since we have Joe here, we're blessed to have Joe. Martin will be joining us, of course, but I'm here joining him with a great panel, of course, with Dan Potts, Nick, Joe, and we'll be joined by Martin. If you're here now, hit that like button. If you just joined us, and if you're watching this in the replay, hit that like button, because the like button is the only way we're going to grow this channel. We're going to get more people watching. We're going to grow this community. I want to thank everyone that helped me, since I haven't thanked Joe, Nick, or Dan Potts, because I just hit 20K. I want to thank everyone that supported the channel, gave me their time, and just came on my humble channel. And I want to thank every viewer that liked, shared, in the super chat, supported my channel. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for this. I never thought I'll be here 6 months when I started this. But listen, we'll just start get into it. And I think it's only fair to start with a little bit of news on the championship and the what is happening in the championship.
Yeah. Big up more, by the way. You know, it's took me fucking 3 years to get close to 30k. You've done 20 in 6 months. That's some serious work, mate.
Yeah, but I've been working for 3 years. So.
Yeah, no, I know, but still, man, congratulations. Congratulations. Also, I'm happy to see myself finally in the intro. That's a bonus as well, because I was disappointed the last time. So thank you for that. I'm still to make 12th man, but maybe next year we'll get there. Thank you for having me on, as always. Listen, I'm happy again because we beat Middlesbrough on Monday. We've got a game on Friday. Win that. We're 4 points ahead of Ipswich. Ipswich play 3 games in 7 days. I think Leicester confirmed promotion last night. They need one more win. I think maybe even a point that sees them up. They absolutely smashed Southampton 5-0. And yeah, man, it's exciting. And do you know what? Leicester going up. I know this might sound wild and a bit of a mad prediction, but they're going to be starting with a hell of a points deduction, so that probably takes up one of the
Premier League, Leicester City.
Yeah. They'll get it in both. No matter where they are, they're going to get this points deduction. So that means there's one less spot. So if we do go up, you know, because I'm under no illusions, we're gonna not struggle as such, but it's hard.
Can I just say something, guys? We have about 150 people in the chat, and the comments aren't running in front of me. So guys in the chat, I don't know if you can comment or not, but if you can, please let me know where are you tuning in from. Just one city if you're in England, if you're in America, and if you're in Australia as well. Just type where are you tuning in from, because I don't see the comments are not coming through. There's only 4 comments. So big up everybody that joined us. It doesn't make sense to me that nobody is.
It's because I'm talking championship, mate. No one wants to talk championship, so they're saving their comments for the.
They'd be spamming Joe out if that was the case, man.
Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead, Joe. Sorry, it was just strange to me.
Oh, it's fine, mate. It's fine.
Yeah, I picked it up as well, but
we don't need to talk championship. Let's talk.
No.
Arsenal.
I just wanted to ask you one thing. Do you think the teams that go to the Premier League will learn from Burnley, Sheffield, and will actually get players?
I think the 3 teams that got relegated are probably
because
better.
I'm sure that Luton now I'm sure will get relegated. But
yeah, they will. I think the championship teams that came up this year were rubbish. If I'm being totally honest, absolutely rubbish. You know, if you look back to last season's relegation with about 9 games to go, anyone from up to 13th could have been relegated. It was really competitive last year. This year, that's not been the case. You know, for the last few seasons, you normally get like 1 or 2 cut adrift, and then you'll have one that'll fight to the end, and they might stay up, like we've seen with Villa, like we've seen with Leeds, like we've seen with Brentford. You know, but this season, from 5 games in, we could all tell who was going down, if we're being totally honest. Luton look like they might do something. Burnley are looking like they might do something now, but ultimately all 3 will go down. And those that come up, I think, they kept a host of their better players. I think in our case we did. I know Leicester City did with the likes of Ndidi, Ricardo Pereira, Keenan Dewsbury Hall. They'll be looking to keep hold of them if they get promoted. So I think we'll have a better showing in the Premier League. Enzo plays good football. He's a Pep disciple. You know, Kieran McKenna's a Premier League manager in waiting if they do go up anyway.
Do you think this guy can do well at Man United though?
Who?
McKenna.
I think he's a good coach. I didn't realise that he actually was at Spurs and he was the one that made Kyle Walker-Peters as a right-back. So I just thought he came through at Man United. I didn't realise this guy's got a lot of years behind him. To do what he's done at Ipswich, you've got to understand that you've got 3 relegated sides that have got mad money in the Championship, able to buy who they want, in effect. Like Southampton, they might not go up, but their squad's stacked, you know. Same for Leeds, same with Leicester. Ipswich have come up, and their squad's not great. You know, Kiefer Moore's up top, Leif Davis at left-back, who's been amazing, by the way, but we sold him to League One from the Premier League. It was at Leeds before that. They've got a hodgepodge of players, but it's style. It's about the style that Kieran McKenna brings, and we've seen it with... Do you know what I liken it to? When Sheffield United got promoted under Wilder, it was new, is exciting, they stayed up. When Leeds United came up under Bielsa, brilliant style. The players were not great, let's be honest. Listen, I love them, but Luke Ayling, Liam Cooper, etc., they weren't Premier League players. You would argue a lot of that Sheffield United squad were not Premier League players. And Ipswich, if they come up, they're not Premier League players. Potsy knows more than me, but they're not Premier League players. But the style is great. It's great to watch, and I think he will... He's a Premier League manager in waiting, and you know what? It wouldn't be a bad shout for Man United, if I'm being totally honest, because I do really rate him, and he won the Championship Manager of the Year, like, easy, so... He's a good manager, yeah, good coach, for sure.
Thing is, right, this is the problem. The manager market, the talent must be poor. If we're talking about Kieran McKenna potentially going to Manchester United, now I know that's just something that's come from Mo and not from a load of rumours, unless you're going to tell me, Mo, that you found that.
No. I discussed it with Terry on Straight Facts. It's a report. It's an actual real thing. Yeah. Last week, then. It's actually a thing. It's not me.
This is crazy for me because
the guy had a meeting with them. It's not me.
This is crazy. Now I'm a big fan of him, and you know I'm a big Ipswich fan just because I'm an Essex boy and they're over the border from me, right? That's the only reason I follow their results. But I look at it and I think to myself, right, Kieran McKenna is actually being spoken to about for the Manchester United job alongside Gareth Southgate. This is how bad the manager pool is right now. This is mad. And we'll come to Liverpool, I'm sure, in a minute. Nick will be the same. He's like, look at the manager list that Liverpool got to choose from. It's abysmal. It's absolutely abysmal. So you know what? I think if Kieran McKenna, like, let me give you an example.
Arteta sounds so good now. Arteta sounds so good.
Well, we'll come to that.
It sounds so good now. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, we got this guy now.
We got him. We got him.
We can't let him go. We can't let him go.
We come to that. We come to that. For me, when you look at somebody, let's take an attractive style of play from 2 decades ago, maybe a decade ago. Let's take Reading. Absolute mess now. When they come to the Premier League with Steve Sidwell and Dave Kitson, you know who I'm talking about, Joe. Yeah. It was Brian McDermott or whoever it was. Did anybody go, right, when's he going to be linked to Man United? When's Brian McDermott going to get the Chelsea job? That didn't happen. So why is it happening now? Because there's no managers out there. There's nobody out there you look at and go, boom. And I think McKenna's done a fantastic job. And I hope that Leeds and Ipswich both go up. And you know I've said that, right? But I look at it and I think, McKenna, Gary O'Neill, they need to stay put and learn. None of this jumping ship soon, man. Gary O'Neill, stay where you are at Wolves and learn because you've got a good job there. If you want to go West Ham or something and try and go up that ladder. Don't go, boom, Liverpool job. Oh, no, I'm sacked. Do not do that like the Graham Potters did. And like, you know, because people will look at David Moyes and Graham Potter, right? Let's just pick those two. Graham Potter and David Moyes, they went to Chelsea and Manchester United, but they didn't go from their first job. David Moyes had proved himself at Everton. Graham Potter had a real nice style of play at Brighton, proved himself at Swansea to get that job, and won stuff over in Sweden at Östersunds, which was an unbelievable job what he did over there, right? Gary O'Neill's not done any of that. Yeah, Kieran McKenna's not done any of that stuff. These are known now because of their first jobs in Wolves. Yeah, because let's be real, it's his first proper job. Bournemouth, he got given it through caretaker manager. Wolves is his first proper job. Likewise, Ipswich have got Kieran McKenna. He's learnt his trade at the under-18s of Man United and Spurs. Let's just calm, man. Let's just let them play. Let it play out, man. That's what I think.
Do you know what the problem is with the man? Because this again, it's a fault of the. I almost blame the Premier League in a way because, and even us as fans, because no one gets given long enough anymore. If we're being totally honest, Potsy, if Arsenal fans had their way, Arteta would have been sacked after bloody a season, and then he'd have been on that managerial merry-go-round. So what happens is, because the fans are so demanding, the clubs are so demanding, if it's not working, ASAP, get him gone, next one. And what eventually happens is, you run out of managers to employ. You run. Yeah. Look at like Tommy Tuchel. He's been linked to Man United, for example. Great coach. Obviously upsets the apple cart and all that. But I don't know his age. But by the time he's 40, he could have had about 10 of the best clubs in bloody Europe. And it's like that. Yeah. That doesn't happen like with your Fergies, with your Wengers. You know, when there was more longevity
there isn't no longevity anymore, man.
That's what I mean, and that's the problem, innit? Tuchel's had
instant results, man. Everyone wants instant results here and now. We were winning 5 years ago. We need to be winning again. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are, the climate, the context of it. We need to be winning ASAP. Like that. That managers are far and few between now. The big managers, they're already at clubs. They're already established. If they're going to be in demand, they're going to probably be already at a club. Everyone talks about Simeone. Is he going to leave Atletico Madrid? Probably not. People talking about Ancelotti. He might leave at the end of the season or one more year, and then someone else is going to come in. Again, do you want an Ancelotti coming in? It depends on what sort of setup you're running. I know last week we mentioned it with Potts. Like, if you bring in an Ancelotti to Arsenal, he might win you something, but what happens then? Then you have to bring in new players, and then there's a whole other system set up. Similar with the situation we've got at Liverpool now. Do we bring in a manager who's going to win us something now because the team is prime, because we're second, third at the moment, challenging? Or do we bring in another manager who's going to come in and say, okay, we're going to tone it down a little bit, we're going to keep with what we've got now, and then we're going to try and challenge up? That's the thing. It's like we've come so close, and now we're going to take a step back again just to... You know, we're in fifth gear. We're going to go back to second to go back to fifth gear again.
I will push back on that though, right? I will push back on that a bit, and this comes back to what Mo and Joe was saying. Like, oh, you know, they're laughing about Arteta. The idea is to win. It's not to have a journey.
Agreed.
And it's not to have, oh, this manager will be here for 6 years. That's what I want. Actually, if you're going to have a manager that's there for 6 and rebuild your club, you don't win anything. Give me the one that's going to be there for 3 and wins me 4 trophies. Do you know what I'm saying? That's
I agree.
It's about winning.
I agree.
And where I'm at with Liverpool, like for me, I know we're going to mention it later in the stream, so I won't go on it. For me, this Arne Slot thing is crazy, in my honest, humble opinion. Really? Go and get a handsy flick. Go and get somebody who can win with Liverpool now. No, Liverpool don't need another project, man. Liverpool do not need another project. They've got a winning team here now that are 2 points off the lead. Why are we going with a style of play with Arne Slot? And let's try and look at this guy who's not actually done much, really. Now, it might come in and go, right, this is my style. I've got the structure. Because that's the difference that he's got that Ten Hag hasn't got, yeah? People go, this is very Ten Hag. It might be in terms of a style of play, but actually when you look at it, they've got a structure behind it, and that's where I am with winning it. But we've come away completely from the championship question, which was, can Leeds and Ipswich go up? And I hope they both can, man. I actually think, Joe, and I've said this, Leicester are going to win it. I think this is by far the best, most exciting championship season I've seen. Yeah. I can't remember when, right? I think Leicester will win it. I do think that you're going to get second now. I do think you're going to get second. And I think it'll be Ipswich in the playoffs. And I pray they go up. Because, do you know what? Jokes aside, me and Joe have been having banter the whole year about Leicester, Ipswich and Leeds, right? And most of it's banter with me because I'm a gooner. Everyone knows that. But I would be absolutely gutted. I think it would be cruel if Ipswich don't go up to the Premier League. I think it would be cruel to get go to the playoffs and get West Brom and lose, Joe. Do you know what I mean? That's just for me. That wouldn't be fair, man. I don't think.
I just want Joe to go up, bro.
Cheers, bro. I like seeing Leeds back in the league. Actually, I do like that.
Yeah, exactly. I like Leeds as well, but I think Leeds are good for the Premier League. It's a great away day as well for me. But
thing about Leeds and Leicester is that they actually are good for the Premier League.
Leeds they are. They are, and they're both good away grounds. They're both big clubs. They both, actually got some history and heritage. Ipswich as well, by the way. I've got a fantastic heritage, but I'm looking at it. I'll be gutted if they don't do it, man, because I think McKenna's been a brilliant manager, and I think that story. I've got a lot of mates that are Ipswich fans. Big up to Grizz, by the way.
Big up Grizz Khan.
Big up Grizz, man. I've got a lot of people that are Ipswich fans, and they're all like, "Oh, I just want to stay in the Championship. I don't want to go back down to League One." They never had this going up to the Prem. What a dream scenario and a journey it would be, man. And I know, Joe, you speak to Ipswich fans as well, and Benjamin Bloom, people like that, and they're like, must be buzzing, man. Can't believe what they're seeing. So I'd love to see him go up. I really would.
To the game yesterday and to Arsenal, and to be honest with you, we dissected the game, we discussed the game yesterday, and guys, let's get to 300 likes right off the bat. People, we have over 300 people here, so let's get to 300 likes. I asked the narrative yesterday was that Arsenal were good, but the result reflects how bad Chelsea were. I think the best one to tell us is Dan. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, just to jump in.
Praise no.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Bro.
And it's mad because I don't know if this is probably giving some flowers to Manchester United in a way. But the reason I'm saying is because I watch a lot of content.
Leeds fan giving praise to United.
No, I know this is what I mean. And maybe I'm not. I'm not. I don't know if I am as I'm saying it, but I was thinking about it because I knew this show was coming up. But it's like Chelsea got some unnecessary praise for being beaten only 1-0 by Manchester City. That's what it felt like to me. They got unnecessary praise. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, Poch is the right guy, and he may well be. And, they're actually, it's, this hodgepodge ragtag, youngsters, they're going to make it. And that's how it felt like it was coming across to me. So they needed humbling. They needed a bang back down to earth, and they got that yesterday. So I don't think it's unfair. 1 minute we can praise Chelsea to say, oh, yeah, but they only got beat 1-0, and Manchester United, they were playing championship side, but ultimately who's in the final? Manchester United, not Chelsea, and that's the praise that I'm giving there. But I think it's unfair to then say this isn't about Arsenal. This is how poor Chelsea have been when, they were unbeaten in a few. It just shows for me that Cole Palmer they're a one-man team, I guess. Outside of Cole Palmer, they've got nothing. But yeah, sorry, that's my bit.
I can't really disagree with what Joe's saying. I feel like that's one of the worst second half performances I've seen from a side at the Emirates. It was just shambles, if I'm honest. And this is a team that they've spent £1 billion on. I've got a show later with Don, which I'm going to be really excited to do.
I'm watching that. I'm there for that one.
It's actually embarrassing. And I love Don, but I've tried to make him explain to me why he rates some of these players, and I just can't see it. I'm still trying to look. I made a comment last night which everyone laughed at, and I watched Mudryk yesterday, and I thought to myself, is that Mudryk or is it Zach from Saved by the Bell? But that's how poor the guy was, man. It is absolutely worrying that they've spent this much money on him. We've spent 105 million and everybody gave us loads of stick for it. Oh my God, pants pulled down, Arsenal, West Ham, this is hilarious. Mate, give me Rice over Caicedo and Enzo put together any day of the week. That Enzo Fernandez was so poor again that he had to be subbed off. He was just banging balls over the top, waiting for one of them to run onto it. That's all they've got up top is pace, nothing more. That Madueke and Jackson, they looked threatening with their pace, but nothing they did come off. Like that Jackson guy. I mean, I know he scored 10 goals, but this guy gets himself in unbelievable positions and fluffs his lines so much.
He's the Premier League Patrick Bamford, Potsy.
He is, bro.
I actually I had this discussion yesterday with the people before we go on into the details and the regret of selling Kai Havertz and all the stuff. What the game shows yesterday is how far Arsenal have become and how much Chelsea have fallen.
Thank you, Mo.
You can
I was about to say that.
So much money, right, and get an experienced manager like Poch. But if everything at the club is wrong, this is what you get. And Arsenal, actually, there are a lot of people said Chelsea might be able to stop them. The difference yesterday was so big in terms of the quality, not only the quality of the players, the quality of the tactics, the quality of the execution of the phases of the game, right? And I know people don't like this word phases, because Arsenal were attacking, and then they were defending, and then they went to counter-attack, and then they want to control the ball again, and then they went to defending again. What people don't realize is that Chelsea tried to skip the phase, skip everything. Let's spend the money, get all these guys, hoping that we will win right away. The board thought it will work. It didn't work. The problem now is that the fans are still at the current moment, and I spoke with HUSAM yesterday, that some of the fans still think that with a better manager, this club will be better. And I'm like, what do you mean better? You'll be 6th, you'll be 7th. What do you think you'll be better? Some of them rate these players over the Aston Villa players, for example. I'm like, well, not really, because they might be individual. Like imagine, I'm gonna say, if Arsenal got Caicedo, right? Caicedo might not perform like this. Why? Because he would have been joining a club with an established style, with an established players. But him joining Chelsea along Enzo, along the Cole Palmers, along the Badiashile, along the youngsters, together it doesn't work. The problem, and I don't want to turn this as Chelsea because we spent an hour and a half yesterday talking about Chelsea. I want this to be more about Arsenal because the majority of the show yesterday was about Chelsea. What Arsenal did yesterday, a lot of people didn't like to praise them yesterday. You know that a lot of shows a lot of people didn't like to praise Arsenal yesterday. They refused to.
Sounds about right, Mo.
Yeah.
That's normally
They
what
I see
refused to
Chelsea
praise
crap.
Arsenal yesterday.
Yeah.
Chelsea are bad. Oh my God, you just beat
I mean, they were.
team Chelsea. And Chelsea were bad.
But you have to be good to put on that performance as well. You can't just be whatever. You have to be a good team.
10, bro. If Havertz was in a donkey in the first half, this game would have been a 10-0. They could have been 4-0 in the first half, Arsenal. Little, right? That's how far Arsenal have become. And that's why I said something outrageous yesterday. I said, if Arsenal... Okay, number one, I'm convinced that if Arsenal win every game, they will win the league. Okay, because I have a belief that Man City will drop points somewhere, right? And I have a bet with someone will apologize publicly, me or HUSAM, because HUSAM thinks City will not drop points, and I think City will drop points, right? But I believe if Arsenal win every game, they will win the league. And I'm not gaslighting Arsenal fans. I'm just, let's call it hope that I want to see a different winner for the Premier League than Man City. But I believe if Arsenal win the league this season, they will have a better starting point than Man City next season. Than everyone.
Going in on a high. Yeah. Going in on a high, 100%.
I mean, yeah, listen,
but
I agree with a lot. Oh, go on. Sorry, go on, Nick. Go on.
No, I was going to say, if City do lose out this league to whoever would be Arsenal or miraculous Liverpool by somehow, you best believe they're going to go looking for the best possible players they can get, and they're going to restack that squad again.
You know they will.
And I've 100%, 100%. But this is why we say you're the defending champions now. Arsenal are going to come in with the nice little gold badges on the sleeves, but Man City are going to be saying, okay, you got us last year, but we're not going to let that happen again. And then it's going to be down to Arsenal to say, well, actually, we're going to go again and we're going to take you to it. That's where it's going to be interesting.
Listen, I agree with what Mo said. Unfortunately, whenever somebody smacks up another team, it's always, God, look how bad they were. And do you know what? In the second half, they were. It's one of the worst outfits I've seen at the Emirates for a long time. And I saw Sheffield United this year against us. I thought they were the worst. This second half performance was as bad, as the Sheffield United one. It was so bad, right? But actually, look at how good we were, man. We literally bullied them. We destroyed them. We dominated them. Our midfield trio of Partey, Odegaard and Rice was outstanding. We've missed Partey big time, and you don't realise until he comes back into the side how good he is. I know he's injury prone, I get it, but the guy's played like a handful of games this season, and we've missed him. Declan Rice in that 8, it looks unbelievable. Like, driving forward in that 8, it looks phenomenal. And I know he's done unbelievable in the 6, but he was phenomenal yesterday. Martin Odegaard, absolute wizard. It was a maestro performance. It was literally like he was on the pitch as the Messi of the team and everyone else was catching up. It was like that for me. I looked at it and I just thought, why are you so much better than everybody else? I'm not comparing him to Messi, by the way, before everyone loses their head. For me, I thought he was outstanding, right? Kai Havertz, you're right, Mo. He can be frustrating, and he still can be frustrating.
I can believe you. I believe you were in the stadium in the first half with the 3 chances he had. What are you doing?
And listen, it's not just him, man. There's a couple of players we've had over the years that remind me of that. The frustrations that have all been good players. Mesut Ozil, Arshavin, they've got that kind of, I don't know, their walks around the pitch is that kind of similar. Just see what I'm saying? Kai Havertz yesterday in the second half was really good, man. Really, really good. The ball from Odegaard for his first goal is just absolutely beautiful. Great muscle, great strength, and fantastic finish for his second goal as well. But I've got to big up a player that I don't think gets enough mention. That, believe it or not, used to play for a club that's represented on this panel. I thought Ben White was man of the match for me yesterday. I thought this guy was ridiculously good, man. Not just because he scored 2 goals, but because he had the clean sheet on top. Defensively, he was solid again. Never gets the mention like Gabriel and Saliba, but this guy defensively is a massive, massive plus and positive to the structure of that defense and department of that defense. The overlapping of Saka was wild yesterday. and he put himself in an unbelievable number of positions. And I think since January, he's been one of the best players that we've got. I honestly believe I see a consistent performer in every single game, even in the games where we weren't great. Yeah, Martin Odegaard and Ben White were the two that shone, in my opinion, and have done. And I think he deserves a hell of a lot of credit this season, man. And it's such a shame that Southgate don't want him, because I think for England he would be able to do.
I thought he's the one who doesn't want to go,
or the other way around, whatever. It's clearly we don't know the full story, but for me, it don't look like they get on these two players, right? So for me, I think with what we've got now, Mo, you're right. Arsenal have to win every game to win the league, but we are praying and hoping that somebody can take someone off Man City, and I just don't feel they will. But I'm hoping I'm wrong. But yesterday, unbelievable performance, and one we can be proud of, man. One that all Arsenal fans can't leave the stadium with going, well, it's Chelsea, they're crap. Nah,
Is it the greatest ever win against Chelsea in the Premier League as well?
I think
For Arsenal, yeah. For Arsenal.
Absolutely.
For Arsenal, not
against-
Chelsea.
yeah,
For
yeah,
Arsenal,
you know,
not
yeah,
Chelsea beat
yeah?
us 6, didn't they, when Wenger's thousandth game? You remember Salah scored, funnily enough, for Chelsea. But that's why I wanted another one. But we could have had 8 or 9, like Mo said. I mean, it really could have been that scary, like yesterday. And I look at the Chelsea players, and honestly, man, the only one that half looked a threat was Madueke, but nothing he did really come off. It was more about his pace and like, oh, careful of him.
And Jackson.
Nothing really was
Jackson.
happening. Oh, he's terrible.
Bro, that chance from Jackson.
Bro,
Oh my
Jackson
days,
in front of the goal
bro.
is strange, but he literally
Bro.
took Saliba to the cleaners in the first 20 minutes, bro.
If he could only finish, though, Mo, the guy is
Yeah.
awful.
Bro, the guy is
Right.
quick, can turn, has a good
Jesus.
first touch, and then in front of the goal, brain cells are gone, bro. Donkey.
Terrible.
We have
Terrible.
players like that too, but they don't score. So what are you supposed to say now?
Nah,
You need to
don't
be hitting the
compare-
target, man.
Darwin Nunes isn't the same as Jackson. Darwin Nunes.
Hey, who mentioned? No, I said players, not player. Yeah, who said player? I never said a player. Don't do that now, Mo. I never said a player. I said players. They can turn and go on target, and they can still miss. We got a few of them.
Why are people so triggered when I mention he literally turned Saliba a couple of times, and then somehow Mauricio Pochettino.
Gabriel, no, he
told-
did. Gabriel as well. He did Gabriel, but I don't know how.
No, he did, no, but when he went to Gabriel, I thought Gabriel literally stomped on his face, bro. Like
apart from
literally.
the chance he had, where he put Gabriel on his ass and then he missed the whole
That's
goal.
actually
How can he hit
Saliba.
the side?
Actually, that's Saliba.
Was that Saliba? Was it?
Yes, in the first
okay.
second half,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
post. That was Saliba.
How does he
To
miss
be
that shot, man?
I have no
How
idea.
did
I'm
he
telling you, bro. A donkey in front of the goal,
How'd
bro.
you
A
come
donkey.
there?
in front of the
Bro,
goal.
side netting, go
Yeah.
cross the keeper, man. Oh my days.
Just exactly, Nick. I thought that as well. So this guy, man.
Cross the keeper, bro. Just that's what you had to do. Crazy.
Yeah, it was Gabriel, man. It
Where
was Gabriel, man.
Arsenal can improve, Pots? Where can you improve? A striker?
Yeah, I mean, it's mad after we just scored 5. We've got the most goals in the league and the most clean sheets, but I still think that we do need a killer. And I don't think that there's anybody that would deny that Arsenal don't, at times this season, lack somebody in that number 9 area. Havertz has done a job there. Jesus has done a job there, but doing a job and actually having someone who can be a killer is very different. Now, a lot of people will say, yeah, but if you just have one focal point, nobody else will score around you. Well, that's the manager's job to get that so that doesn't happen, right? If you're telling me that Arsenal don't do better with a Haaland or a Kane or somebody of that level in the side, you're buzzing, man. Of course you will, right? So that's where I think we lack. I also think there is a left 8 problem, and I think there's a left-hand side problem at Arsenal, if I'm honest with you. Because if you look at Martinelli's form this season, it's not been great. Yeah, and I wonder why that is. Now, some of it he has to look at himself with, but when you're playing alongside a different striker, a different left 8, a different left back every single game, there's only Gabriel on that left-hand side that's sustainable. Then you switch that to the right-hand side. We know what the right-hand side is. Everybody on this panel knows what our right-hand side is. We know it's Saliba and White. We know it's Odegaard and Saka, right? So everything on that right-hand side is absolutely the same. Unfortunately, we can't say the same about the left-hand side. And this time we've had different left backs. We've had different 6s and 8s. We've had Rice in a 6 and an 8. In 8, we've had Rice there, Vieira there, Smith-Rowe there, Havertz there. There's been a lot. Now, there's a difference between rotating your squad and starting those players. And we've not rotated. We've started those players. And there has been a rotation problem at Arsenal. So we definitely need more players. And people will laugh and say, we don't need loads of players. We probably do need 4 or 5 players more. And I'm not even joking, because we're going up against the juggernaut here. We're not going up against the Liverpool's, Man United, Newcastle's. That's all done. We can compete with those teams. It's Man City that we've got to try and get one over on. And we still could this season. But for me, to how to improve, yeah, man, we've got to go and get those positions filled. We need cover for Saka. We need cover for Saliba. We need cover for Rice. We need a centre forward. They're the big 4 main ones that we need. Because when we lose those 4 players, and Odegaard can be added to that as well, we drop down too much of a level, man. So they're the sort of areas that we need to be buying in the summer.
Saka's performance yesterday, I didn't like it. Apart from that dribble inside, I didn't like it, to be honest. I was thinking to myself, what happened to you? Like, what happened to you? Why is everybody else rising and you're not? And I'm a big Saka fan. Like, I've been sitting on shows saying that I choose Saka. And me and you, Dan, we speak about Saka and Foden.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I say yes. I thought yesterday everybody was rising. He wasn't, for some reason. I don't know why. What is he tired?
I thought he was good, but I didn't think he was.
He was
great.
okay.
He's knackered.
Right?
He's
He was
bro.
okay. For me yesterday, he wasn't bad. I'm not saying he was bad. Right? He wasn't. He was better than all the Chelsea player. You know what I mean? But he was like, I thought that everyone else was rising, including even Thomas Partey. But Saka was just there. You know what I mean?
But I was amazed that we got to 80 minutes and he was still on the pitch, man. I'm like,
that too is like, why does that happen? I have no idea.
You were 5-0 up at that point as well, easily. So why do you have to keep on playing?
3-0.
And
he's the guy out,
he's gonna get gassed. He's gonna go to the Euros as well. You still got big games to left in the season. He's gonna go to the Euros, and then if England progress, obviously then the games become a little bit closer and closer. That recovery time becomes narrower and narrower. This kid might be gassed by the time the season starts again.
Yeah, 100%. Listen,
You said if there, by the way, England will win.
If
will win the Euros.
I have no dog in this fight, so
we do have to look at the Saka thing though, and I do think sometimes it's massively magnified his performance. And I think clearly Saka is the benchmark because no one can leave this kid alone. Everyone's better than him. He's terrible. If he doesn't score goals, he's had a shocking game. It's like, actually, the guy can have a good game now, but because it's not great, it's magnified as, what happened to him then? Where was the great Saka again? So I think
he's become a certain level.
Yeah, they're like typical performances now are not good enough. He has to be well-classed all the time.
It's because of your fan base.
It's the fans gassing him.
The problem is,
you know what it is, right?
I tried to stick up for him and I failed because I'm not the one calling him world class. I've never put him in a world class bracket. The kid's 22 and I've got no doubt he'll get there one day, right? But I look at it and I think, so name me another couple of players then that are much better than Saka that have got the GA that he has this year, and people go quiet. He's got 31 goals. The GA is 31. It's ridiculous. And he's had a shit season. No one wants to put him near the team of the season. No one wants to big him up. He's terrible. He's overplayed. He's going to get ruined. All that stuff's fine. But is that his fault then? Is it his fault that he's played this amount of games? Because I would say it's unbelievable that a kid of 22 is this durable and is still going and is still delivering and still scoring goals. Scored against Bayern Munich.
That's the risk.
Well, listen, it's risky massively, and I don't like it, Nick. And I've said that we need to get a replacement for this guy in. But I just think it's the first one. Even now, we won 5-0. We're having another discussion about
top of the league. Top of the league goes up.
Do you not think though? Do you not think though? Football's moved on, like in terms of. I hear the gassing out thing. And
welcome, Martin. How are you doing? I hope everything is fine with you.
Yeah, I heard what he did, Dan. Don't worry.
I didn't do anything, Martin. You just walked in.
I heard the top of the league part.
They're top of the league, aren't they?
Yeah.
I've got to make the most of it, man. I've got to wave to you boys down there while I can. It's not going to last forever. So
points on the board better than games in hand.
You never know.
Man City are the ones that actually taught us this. They said points on the board is always better than games in hand. It's definitely. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm sorry, Joe.
No, I'll not finish. You were very rude. Move on.
I want to hear Joe.
No, it's good. It's good. We'll move on. Martin, over to you, my brother. I was just saying, like, football's moved on. Look at how many games Bellingham's played. Look at how many games these players will play. I think sometimes maybe, but there is an element of him being overplayed. But I mean,
you love him, Joe, don't you?
I love Saka. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You love Saka for a reason. Did you like Palmer and Foden?
I like Cole Palmer. Yeah.
Does anybody think? Do you think you're looking from outside? You're a neutral. Do you think?
Yeah.
Who performed better this season, Saka, Foden, or Palmer?
Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer has been performing the best out of all of them.
Yeah, because he's doing it on his own.
But don't you think it's so easy to do it without pressure?
No, not well. Chelsea
is not challenging for nothing. He's challenging for
Chelsea have pressure, bro. Chelsea have pressure.
But just Chelsea, man. Yeah.
Not on him.
It's an interesting question.
Not on him. And by the way,
I think even Martin and Potts probably would say Palmer's.
Yeah, I would.
Because of the team that he's in. Like, it's mad to think that if Palmer had stayed at City, can you imagine? Wow.
Because people will say,
I actually asked if they regretted it, and they said no. Of course, the pride.
They're going to say that.
The pride
They're going to say
like,
They're going to say
You want to
that.
go in our team?
Bro, he would definitely start on the right side.
You want to go in now too?
Martin, he would have definitely started on the right side. On hindsight. In hindsight. I'm not saying back into the in hindsight now.
Like, he's a good player, but you can't guarantee that he would have turned into the player we see now. Like, there is a player in him. There is a player in him, 100%. Would he have played more? Probably, but we can't sit here and say, yeah, this Palmer at Chelsea would have been the Palmer at Man City. No. Sometimes a player needs to leave to, like, find themselves in a way. Like, you can't expect them to just develop themselves. Look, it might have been good for them. That might have helped their right side. Would have let Foden play in the middle in place of De Bruyne or whatever the hell that they do over there. But he's been on something, and it showed in that game in the morning for me overnight, where he's not there, nothing happens at all with him. So he's done well, I have to say.
Yeah. Palmer needs to be, in my opinion, tested like Saka and Foden has now in terms of going for titles, being surrounded by that quality, having that pressure on his shoulders. That will come. Might not come at Chelsea, but it'll definitely come in his career, in my opinion. I don't think he's better than Foden and Saka yet, but I think there's a player there that could be. I think he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
About Arsenal before we move on to the other teams, to Liverpool and Manchester City. Do Chelsea regret selling Kai Havertz? Did Arsenal get him cheap?
65 million cheap.
Joe.
Go on, Joe.
No. They didn't get him cheap. I'm not. But he has more than justified his price tag now. What's he got? 17 GNA in total.
Something like that.
He's coming up clutch in big moments as well.
You can't call it a flop or a ridiculous signing now. Whereas I think people
absolutely not, of course.
People raised eyebrows, man. 100%. Sorry, Joe.
I did. You did. Everyone did.
Everyone did.
Yeah,
is that a testament to how
I love a redemption?
So like the fact that story,
yeah, 100%. And the fact that he's had to deal with criticism from his own fan base, rightly so. He was getting criticised at Chelsea as well before moving across to Arsenal. Then he gets criticised for the signing before he's even played. Then he's not been great. But for him to end, that's why he celebrated against Chelsea, because he's like, do you know what? I've been given shit for, I don't know, two years or whatever. And now look, and that's what I enjoyed the most, is the fact that he scored 2 against them. Like, it was
think about that. He celebrated like he never played for that club on one.
Yeah, exactly. That's what. Did you know that Chelsea tweeted out every goal scorer apart from the Havertz one? He just said
they went down the League Gunner route. Number 29. Yeah. That's it. Number 29. That was it.
Didn't even give him a number, Nick.
Lee was managing the Twitter account for Chelsea, you know.
That shows how much that would have hurt them, right? The fact that
100%.
Big time. Yeah, for sure.
I want to say something about this Kai Havertz thing. I said if Mikel Arteta can revive Kai Havertz, because I keep saying that Kai Havertz at Leverkusen, for the people that watched him at Leverkusen, had 2 magnificent seasons for Leverkusen. That's why Chelsea paid 70 million pounds for him, right? Or I think 70 million euros, something like this. And I said if Arteta can revive this guy, it's literally a testament to how good Arteta in developing people. The way he developed Gabriel, the way he actually developed Martinelli, the way he developed like Odegaard as well. I think it's a testament to how good Arteta and how good he can develop people, right? This guy have a thing, and I know he tried in the beginning to play him left center mid, it didn't work. But now he's playing him as a false 9. I know that Arsenal want a striker, they want to improve and blah, 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 all this stuff. But you would never have thought that Kai Havertz would be here scoring 2 goals against Chelsea or being a match winner in some games or doing this and that. You would never have thought that. I would never have thought that Arteta would be able to revive someone's career after 3 years of failing at Chelsea. Simple as that. It's just a testament to how good this manager is at some point. And I've been Arteta's defense about this. He might not be the guy to win you trophies, but he's sure the guy to develop and build you a team. He is definitely that guy. But people don't want to give him praise. People don't want to give him praise, which is still crazy.
People, especially in content creation, don't want to hold their hands up and say,
"They're our friends."
No, they don't want to hold their hands up and say, "Do you know what? I got it wrong." I got it wrong.
That's a lot of ego involved in that stuff,
so
man.
Hold on. Yeah. Okay, so can I ask you something? And I want to ask Martin, if Arteta doesn't win the league this season or next year, do you still think they got it wrong? Or he's done his job? Is a trophy,
Yeah,
is the reason why is the Premier League or the Champions League in this current market with the likes of Pep, and you will tell us what you're going to sign next season, what you think is going to happen next season. Do you think not winning the league is still, it's a failure, but this still is the measuring stick to sack or hire a manager?
It depends, because it depends how you're looking at it. Because some fans will look at it as a, sorry, Dan, I'm going to say the word, but they're going to look at it as basically, are they on phase 6, phase 7, and they're going down this road as a project. You'll get some fans who will go, no, he hasn't won the league, he's had 2 goals in it, needs to go now. So, from an outsider looking in, who'd you get if I had set of goals?
Well, we were talking about this before you come on, man, about the manager list and how poor it is. And that is
Even
a
lot of players are poor at the minute. The player list is not exactly great at the moment.
No, I agree. I think the whole thing's gone bad. And I mentioned this, and I'm not going to go into it because you do a whole stream on it. But if you look at the player reel between the 90s and 2000s, you'd be stunned at how much better it is than now.
It's
absolutely
Pep Guardiola's fault, Pep.
Yeah, a lot of people blame Pep. No blame Pep. But I think when you look at it, like, serious talk, because like, you know, a lot of people look about the not being wrong and stuff. There are people that don't want to say they're wrong and hold their hands up. What I will say is, until he wins something, there's nobody that can put their hands up and go, poor, fair play. Because there's some that have put their hands up already, like me, and said, I just don't know if we can get this guy can get us into a title race. And I said, poor, fair play to him. Like last season, I didn't see that coming. To be honest with you, I don't think anybody saw it coming. To do it again, fair play. He's now got, he's succeeded in getting us challenging for the top. Can he get us across it? Because we didn't want to be challenging. We wanted to be winning. That's the difference. Because there's some Arsenal fans that are happy to just be a part of it and a part of the conversation. Not me. I want to be winning it.
But I don't believe anyone guarantees you that, Dan. Let's just let's have it real, right?
No, but you've got to keep trying them, though. You can't just say, but there's no one that can do it, so we just keep him, because whoever else comes in might not do it either. Otherwise, we still have Wenger. Might as well just kept Wenger then, because we don't know that anyone else can do it. So you've got to try, you know what I'm saying? So I know this is the wrong time to have this conversation, because we're in a good
I'm going to move
right?
on from this conversation.
Yeah.
We're Odegaard now.
You know, because for me, I feel like there is that question mark. Can this guy get Arsenal across the line to win a trophy? Until he does that, everyone only here will go, not sure. You might have an opinion that he can, and I bloody hope he will. I hope he'll do it this season. But if
Dan, that's the question you'll never win. Because trust me now, he'll go from he's won the league to the next question is, can he retain it?
There will always be that question, right?
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's a never-ending situation. So these managers are always going to have that pressure at the top.
All I'll say is he's staying whatever. So this conversation is crazy.
Guys,
really.
we almost have 700 people here, and we aren't even on 300 likes. I think that's embarrassing, people. So the like button underneath, so live chat, people, right? And of course, these guys' channels are there. The Mancunian Way, 12th Man Podcast, Nick's channel, the Football Club, and Just Joe Football Show. One of the brilliant people out there. Martin Odegaard, on my show yesterday, there is a guy, a friend of the show, comed in, if I remember correctly, kept sending super chats and saying that Odegaard deserved to be player of the season.
Wow.
Is that a shout?
Is that outright, or if they win the league, was it just an outright shout? Because you could look at it 2 ways.
For me, personally, if we win the league, it won't be Odegaard that gets it. It will be Declan Rice ahead of him. If Man City win it, it will be Phil Foden. And if Liverpool win it miraculously, like Nick said, I don't think it would be as miraculous as him, but if he says miraculous, I'll go with it. It'll probably be Van Dijk. So for me, I think they're the 3 that stand out, Rice, Foden and Van Dijk ahead of Odegaard. However, if you're doing it from this year, 2024, Odegaard's been unreal, mate. He's been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So he deserves his flowers for sure.
I like Odegaard. My problem with Odegaard is consistency. And he has been consistent over the past, 12, 13 games. It's just consistency. And thing about Odegaard is that he's shown captain material now at the current moment. And I like what I'm seeing from him. He's been brilliant again. He is the kid now that used to, 16 years old that Real Madrid signed, or 15 years old. He deserves a shout for sure. But I think there are a couple of players before him at Arsenal which is Gabriel and Declan Rice. Without a shadow of a doubt, for me, I actually believe that Declan Rice deserves it. Like right now, win the league or not. Win the league or not. That's my opinion. Declan Rice. The fact that the price tag, okay, the pressure, he's coming from West Ham. He wasn't coached, I'm sorry, in an environment where you have to win trophies. And it doesn't matter if Arsenal win the league or not. I actually believe the voting has happened. I believe it might have been Declan Rice already. We know that the voting has happened already. I believe Declan Rice deserves it at the current moment. I don't know if anybody disagrees with this. I said it's Van Dijk, but I can't say that with what happened lately with Liverpool, to be honest. I can't say that. I said Van Dijk deserves a player of the season, but Declan Rice, especially after yesterday's performance. The reason why, because yesterday's performance, he literally showed us what £100 million can get you as a midfielder. Someone can play DM, but also can play ahead, can actually conquer a left side. Like he played very well on that left side with Martinelli, with Trossard. He literally showed us what 100 million, not Enzo, not Caicedo. It was literally that. And I'm like, I'm going to raise my hand and say, Joe, you're right. Declan Rice is that guy.
I've been saying this.
That's smart.
I've been saying this. No, listen, I think he's brilliant. Like I like him, obviously, and I think he's added to his game going to Arsenal. And he's just gonna improve, isn't he? He's just gonna improve. So, it's a totally different style of play. He's expected to play from what he was doing under David Moyes at West Ham, and I don't even think there's been any sort of bedding in process. There wasn't a period. He was just on it from minute one. Let's go. And I think someone said in the chat about him being a future captain, but he's already got that gravitas about him, and he will be now, let's say, at Arsenal for the next decade, the fulcrum of their midfield, and everything will be built around him. And I think he's phenomenal, and he plays for England as well, and he's just a really, really top bloke. That's all I get from Declan Rice, is just that he's a top bloke. So you never, he's just a brilliant pro, a top player, has added goals, assists. He's now taking corners on a regular basis and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know, that might seem trivial, but that's what I'm talking about in terms of just all these little things that have added to his game. And I think, Arteta has to take praise for that as well. But I do think it was always there. And listen, I'm not digging out anyone here, but we can sometimes, if they're not playing for a top six side, just go, oh, well, they're not that guy yet. And it takes for them to move to a top six side for people to see it more. But when I was watching him at West Ham, he was doing bits there as well. So, yeah, he's fantastic. And like I say, I told you so more. Just listen to me more often, please.
I will. I will listen to you for sure. I will listen to you. I want to do a couple of... AMT saying Jackson 10G, but Trossard 10 goals and Kai 11 goals were quality goals, not just tap-ins. Yeah, I have scored quality goals as well. Thank you so much. Let's come back and say, remember the swerve and the shot from Rice. Yeah, that one was Enzo Fernandez. Go get some bread, bro. Go get some bread. Come back, bro.
Got sent, man.
Do you think it's overhyped? I just want to pick up what Cred said. Does anyone disagree with anything I've said about Rice? Do you think he is overhyped? I know Martin might have something to say because of Rodri, but I'm not comparing. I'm not saying he's better than Rodri. I'm just saying he's been great. But does anyone think it's overhyped?
Not me.
No?
It's one of those things where people don't see what he does, man. It's just that he fits a gap that needed to be filled, and he does it well for him. And that's what he's done consistently well throughout the season as well. It doesn't have to be the tightest. It doesn't have to be the most prettiest. Doesn't have to be the most whatever. Just get your job done. Do what you have to do, and just what it is. Stop the progression from happening from the opposition. Cool, I've done that. Cut the passes out. Cool, I've done that. Take the ball, give it to the wingers or whatever. Cool, I've done that. That's it. It doesn't have to be over the top, man. He's not like we expect him to go through 10 players and put one in from 40 yards out,
Even if you have a look over the last 12 to 18 months, players that have been bought for the top six sides in this position, outside of Rodri, man, you look at Calvin Phillips, you look at Enzo, you look at Caicedo, you look at Endo, none of them can even chat to Rice. So I don't think it's overhype at all. I think
I totally agree.
Stands on.
Yeah, he's been decent, man. He's been solid. Can't argue there.
Money well spent, to be honest.
Yeah,
Money well spent.
100%.
I want to go on to Liverpool today, Merseyside, and the manager problem and all what happened today at Liverpool. How's everybody like this manager's thing at Liverpool is crazy. It's crazy. Does anybody see Liverpool if they hire an Arne Slot or they hire somebody like that? Does anybody see Liverpool like staying near the top?
I'll let you guys go first.
I feel like I don't want to talk too much, but I think it's a great appointment, Arne Slot. I think it's a great appointment. Obviously,
Really?
he was linked. Yeah, he was linked to Leeds United back in 2023 when we were having a few issues and decided to stay at Feyenoord. I think there was also chat of him going to Spurs, and he decided to stay put. He actually usurped Ten Hag's achievements whilst in the Eredivisie with not as many not as big as pull of say Ajax, for example. I think he's done a great job. He's got Feyenoord into Europe and stuff. So I think it's a good appointment. And I hear what Potts was saying earlier about win now, win now, win now. But Liverpool aren't that club. Michael Edwards isn't that guy. He's going to look to build another project and build on, because they don't just go out and buy the best players. They try to be a little bit more methodical with it. And I think this coach is a little bit more methodical and thought out, and I actually rate Arne Slot, and I think he'll do well. But when we're talking well, will he be challenging for a title next year? No. Will he get to the later stages of the Champions League? I would say no, just because it's going to take a bedding in process. But I do think he will be given time at Liverpool. There won't be calls for his head like some other fan bases. I'm not digging anyone out here. I'm just saying Liverpool will afford him that time for him to do well. So I think it's a good appointment. Personally, I think it's a good appointment.
Anybody think the Zerbi will work at Liverpool at all?
No. Don't get this guy, man. Don't get this De Zerbi loving. What is it?
He's only got one fan, and it's more Dan. That's it.
I don't get it. Like, because he plays out from the back, this guy gets battered, man. This guy held about 4 against Luton, didn't he? And 6 against Villa. Nah, man, not for me. Like, this is the problem. We look at a style of play, and that could be a great process. That could be a good journey. That could be a good phase 4, 5, or 6. Liverpool don't want all that crap. Liverpool got to win now. They've got a team that's 2 points off the top. They don't need a project, man. They've got a great side. So they might lose Salah and they might lose Van Dijk. But let's be real, they ain't going to need to go and buy another 12 players to go and compete with City and Arsenal at the top next season if that's what's going to stay there. So for me, out of all the list of managers at the moment, the ones that I would want if I was Liverpool would be either Hansi Flick or Thomas Tuchel, because they've won Champions Leagues and they've won trophies. And that for me is something that's coming in. Now, Arne Slot, for me, he might come in and say, do a job and style of play and all that kind of stuff. But it's a massive risk for me. Same with Amorim. So they're the ones at the moment on the list, but it's not a great list, I've got to say. It's not a very attractive list. But if you're saying you'd rather have De Zerbi than Hansi Flick or Tuchel or someone like that who's actually said, look, I do that, I don't get it.
Tuchel is absolutely.
Yeah, personally, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Martin. Give us the
I
good.
personally don't think the Liverpool fans will be as patient and respectful as what Joe thinks, because they'll come back on the board. They're already got the knives out on the board. If Slot goes in, and that fails in 12, 18 months, they're not going to be happy. The knives will come back out again on the board. You've already seen the unrest regarding the board at Liverpool, because it's been going well for the last couple of years. It's gone a bit quiet, but when it's not going well, Liverpool fans will voice their opinion on it. And I think this Liverpool, can they afford to drop back? I know you were saying, Joe, about is he good enough to challenge for the league? Is he good enough to go in the last stage of the Champions League? That's what Liverpool want.
Yeah, fair.
But question is, will Liverpool want to go back 3 or 4 years to then go forward again?
Yeah.
Do you not think, no, Martin,
my thing.
Sorry, go on. I'll let you answer.
No, I'm going to go on a bit of a ramble on, so you guys get yours out of the way first.
Do you not think, no, I was just going to say, Martin, it's expected. Because do you not think, let's say, I know we don't have a crystal ball, but let's say City in 3 years, Pep says, right, I've had enough, I'm going on a sabbatical. Do you not expect to have a period of of a dip because of such a big character leaving the football club. I think any manager, you could get the best, and I still think there would be a period of dip, maybe.
It's a weird one for me because our dip's different to a Liverpool dip. Because our dip is not trebles and doubles anymore. This is the weird
trophy.
thing. And no, to me, as long as we're challenging, and we're up there, I'm happy. But that's the question: is can Slot challenge? Can he go up with the big boys and challenge them into the last stages? There's a major difference. Do Liverpool want to go back to the Roy Evans days?
He has
Once
been.
you've had that taste, you don't want to go backwards.
I was about to say, he's been a manager for all of 4 years at the moment now. The COVID season got scrapped. He was challenging with AZ Alkmaar. They went to Feyenoord, won them their season, I think last year it was. First title this century or something like that. So he's won something. So I've heard a lot of people say, well, we need Alonso because he won the Bundesliga. Okay, cool. But it was a crap Bayern team. So then are we giving Alonso credit for winning the Bundesliga, or are we going to give him, well, you won it because Bayern were crap. So if Bayern were at it, then would he have even won it? Then would people actually want Alonso to begin with in the first place? That's my way of thinking about it. This guy, the fact that Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes are actually looking at him and they've actually offered him already €9 million, which they've rejected. I think he's asking for a bit more money, which apparently was why Amorim said no to him. That the money wasn't there. But I would think Amorim would want to come into a club where he's got control over which players come in and which player goes out. Edwards now coming into the role with the bigger, managing director, whatever role he's going to have now with Hughes alongside him. He's going to be picking the players. He's the one who's going to be looking for the players to fit the system. Is Slot going to come in and be a yes man and say, cool, what players have you got? Edwards going to say, these are your players, work with that. Is he going to be a manager who's going to come in and say, yes, thank you, I'll have whatever you're giving me now? Because if it's going to be somebody else coming in, they're going to want to demand their own players. I need this player, I need that player. And we've seen how these things can go wrong when managers pick the players that they want. And we've all know the stories. If Klopp had his way, he probably would have picked Julian Brandt. Instead, we ended up getting Mo Salah. And that was the Michael Edwards signing. So Michael Edwards does have a very decent track record when buying players and selling players on for decent money. But fans are already thinking, hang on a second, where is this guy going now? Getting Arne Slot when he hasn't really proven himself, how Liverpool fans want to speak from what I've been watching and listening. And how's he going to come into a club that's Liverpool from Jurgen Klopp? Now, Jurgen Klopp's already built the squad. Like, he's had a bit of a revamp. The squad is there now. We're challenging. We're doing bits. We went to, quarterfinal Europa, semi-finals, this, that, whatever. Cool. We don't need, in my opinion, another manager to come in and say, all right, well, we're going to go again in 2 or 3 years once we've established something. It's like, bro, we have the players now. Van Dijk is getting on age. Salah's getting on age. Alisson, all right, goalkeeper, still he can hang around for a little bit there. Some of the other players are young. So these players may only have another season or two where they can realistically challenge for something with Liverpool. And if it's going to be another process of, okay, well, let's wait it out now and let's see what's going to happen, they might not even stick around to see whatever happens thereafter. They might leave. Trent's got that Real Madrid thing hanging over him. Salah going to Saudi Arabia. Is Van Dijk going to move somewhere else? Diaz to Barcelona and all these other places. It's one of those things now where you say, if Edwards is keen on this guy because he sees something, because he fits the Liverpool mold of how they play and all that sort of stuff. But I've also noticed a lot of people saying, it's because he's done well with, without doing frivolous spending, like money-wise. It's like, okay, so it's about money then again. And look, I'm not saying Edwards is a bad businessman because he has bought lots of good players for, ridiculous prices and things like that. But we've also seen some that haven't really worked out. So if he's keen on him, if he wants to be a head coach, whatever. I mean, I know I did a video on, what about Jose Mourinho for a season just for the pure fun of it, but I'm like, that could go so bad so quickly. And, hasn't really done much in the last 10 years by the Conference League. We've seen the stuff with United that he's had, Tottenham and all that sort of shit as well. He ain't the manager he used to be. But apart from that, who else do you have in there? Like we said, the manager market is not great at the moment, man. I don't know.
I'm here for
Liverpool. Look, I'm not saying that I don't want him in. I don't know. I'm not a tactico. I don't do these. Well, he's got this record here and he's done this, blah, blah, blah. I just want a manager who's going to get us, challenging, winning stuff again. That's what I want. If he is the closest build and the closest mold to what a Jurgen Klopp is, okay, let's go, let's do it. But the drop off will probably be there. We're not going to be challenging for. If we're challenging for Premier League next season, I'll be amazed. If we're in the top 4, I think that's probably more realistic. If City going to strengthen up again, Arsenal strengthen up again, shit, we don't know what's happening with United as well. Aston Villa, Emery signing on. I don't know, man. It's going to be a weird one.
Before I know Joe has to go, but before that, I'm next season. This is what I'm praying for: Man City, Pep Guardiola; Arsenal, Arteta; Liverpool, Jose Mourinho; Chelsea, Antonio Conte; and Jose Mourinho at Liverpool. I'm praying for, and Thomas Tuchel at Man United. I want to see this, and I said it before: press conferences in the stadiums, box office, and you have to pay tickets, and both managers are there. Sit. I'm here for that. Listen, AMT saying last season Everton thrashed Brighton. I'm gonna say this about De Zerbi: give De Zerbi better players, and I believe he's gonna actually deliver.
That's where I'm at.
That's the reason
I'm
why.
straight with you now.
We judge De Zerbi based on the players he has, and we think these players are good. Liverpool concede a lot of chances, but the difference is they have Alisson and Van Dijk at the back. The other guys have Van Hecke and freaking Lewis Dunk. We think Lewis Dunk is a good player because he passes the ball around. I believe if he goes to Liverpool, De Zerbi will do very good. Andrew saying, slot out. FSG only want yes man. I don't want him.
Please.
How do you know, Andrew? How do you know?
This is wild, man.
He's
Right,
not even
right.
in. Slot
I
out.
know, right?
This is why I say, man, Edwards has this new method of
So
doing
you were
things
telling me
now.
they were patient 5 minutes earlier.
I know, yeah,
Anyone
true. But the mad thing is, right, if FSG only want a yes man, right, think about what you've just said, right? If FSG only want a yes man, why the fuck is Jurgen Klopp in a job?
Currently now, that's the rumor why Edwards left in the first place. Too much friction with Klopp. He wanted more control. He didn't want to give, didn't want to let up, whatever, and he legged it. And now he's back again. He's like, well, I'm not going to let that happen again. So you want me back here? These are my terms. FSG have agreed to them.
That plays into that narrative then. So Arne Slot is a yes man because.
But that's what people are saying. Yeah, because they want a head coach. They want a head coach, not a manager.
Andrew's turning around and saying Klopp is a yes man. Like, he's not a yes man. In what world is Klopp a yes man?
Lately the last few signings have been more so his, because I know the other guy, I don't even know his name, is that relevant to me. I don't know what he's done, but bringing in certain players and things like that. Whereas in Edwards maybe would have said, well, actually, hang on a second, let's wait off a little bit. Maybe we can get something different here. But I don't know how they're going to run this. It's an Edwards and Hughes show. FSG have enlisted them with trust. And if this does go bad within the first, like, let's say Slot, however you pronounce his name in Dutch, does come in, and I don't know how you pronounce his name.
Who says
Slot. Oh, some people have been saying it, man. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Yeah. But and LFC Aaron, big ups to Aaron. He says as well, we don't want a manager who picks his own transfers. That's it. Like we've seen it in the past with other managers at other clubs, and maybe we're not that, but we can see things going wrong when you pick and choose the wrong players, when you have the bad advisory board, when you have the wrong sporting directors. And the whole reason bringing Michael Edwards back was to get us back up to the top and have better signings for us. But in order to have the better signings, he needs to have more control. Which manager is going to allow more control than themselves? I don't know.
Anyway.
Do not all top managers have support though? Like, there's only a few. And what for me anyway? What a club needs to do is protect themselves. You can bring in a manager, let him bring in all his own players. What if in 6 months' time it goes to shit? Then what? Then you're left with a load of players that you need to bin off. Yeah, and then you need to bring in a new manager on. He wants all his own players because he wants to play a different style. So you need to have continuity. You need to have continuity from the top to the bottom. And that's why Michael Edwards has probably been brought back in. I don't know if he was key to Klopp's appointment. Maybe you can tell me more, but they obviously earmarked Klopp at the time. They brought him in. Like you rightly mentioned, he wanted Julian Brandt, he wanted Mario Götze and stuff, and they said, nah, you're getting Sadio Mane, you're getting Mo Salah, etc. Look how that worked out. So, you can give it to Klopp.
How did that work out? How do you think that worked out? Successful?
Yeah, of course.
Really
That's
good.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, because
So-
Edwards was
Amazing.
there spearheading that's the thing.
Why did that need clarification? My point is, you need someone to have that continuity throughout. Like you need you need that. I don't know why you
I
needed
agree.
clarification there. What do you want me to
Yeah.
say?
No,
Like, sign Mario
no.
Götze. Like what?
Yeah.
What Mo
It's-
did, Mo just wanted you to stroke Salah's ego to make Mo.
No.
look better.
I
better.
actually about club and success and all the stuff, because arguably you're the only one from outside, Joe, that says that Klopp has been a success from inside Liverpool. Does that make sense? From outside, I know you have to go, but we'll have this on another day, right? We'll have this on another.
My
day.
son's just arrived. I can hear him outside, so I've got to dip. Listen, thank you everyone, and enjoy the rest of the show, and Arnie Slot in and all that jazz, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye.
Big up, Joe.
So, Joe.
Slot in. That's it. Slot in. Right. Bye.
Apparently, that's how you pronounce it. Maybe I saw someone in the chat say I pronounce it correctly. Maybe it is slot. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna say something outrageous, and Dan wouldn't like me for it, right?
Oh, breaking news.
No. The only one that is not a massive risk for Liverpool is De Zerbi. Let me explain why.
I agree with you.
Let me explain why. Dan, I said that was Husam. Dan, just come on. Hear me out. I'm not saying it will be a success, but I'm saying if De Zerbi comes to Liverpool, and I explained this to Husam the other day, if De Zerbi comes to Liverpool and he doesn't win trophies, right? At least De Zerbi, what he's gonna do is that all these players will have a way of playing football. He will never destroy the club. I'm gonna give you an example. If Thomas Tuchel comes to them and they don't win trophies, and if it doesn't work, the club is destroyed. Now the assets are destroyed. What I mean is that De Zerbi, you know that if De Zerbi comes to Liverpool, he's gonna have a style of play. He might not win you games. He might not win you trophies. He might only get you top 4. He might get you top 5. But the player's value will increase. Your assets will increase. He will have a distinguished style of play, right? So even if you sack him, the player's already playing football. The player's already playing good football, whatever you want to call it. Someone like Thomas Tuchel might come in, and I'm going to give you an example. Thomas Tuchel came to Chelsea, won the Champions League, but still left the club distraught. Still left the club in a bad place. Even winning the Champions League. That's what I mean. A manager that comes in with a style of play, increase the assets value, increase the confidence of players, right? If De Zerbi leaves Brighton tomorrow, the new manager will build on what De Zerbi is doing. He's going to tweak things here and there. He's going to tighten the defense, do things. But some managers, if they go to clubs, for example, if Antonio Conte goes to a club and he wins you a title, if next year it doesn't work for him, he leaves your club in shambles. In shambles. You need to rebuild, right? Sometimes. That's what I mean. That I'm not saying that De Zerbi will definitely be a success. I'm not saying that De Zerbi will come in to Liverpool and win the Premier League or win the Champions League. But he will establish a way of playing. He will establish a style that even if you sack him in a year or 18 months, the new manager that comes in that might be better than him will have something to build on.
Do you know he's on the shortlist to replace Pep?
Is De Zerbi.
Imagine he goes then he works out as well.
I know that doesn't like him because he concedes 50,000 goals a season, right? But I actually think that he deserves a better squad. He deserves a Declan Rice, not a Billy Gilmore. He deserves an Odegaard, not a Pascal Gross.
When Brighton have been to the Etihad, they've actually been the best footballing team for the past, not this season, but the last 2 seasons before. They were the best footballing team that have been to the Etihad. 90% of City fans will tell you that.
Listen, it's attractive to watch. Not denying that. Absolutely. If people want to go for De Zerbi, go for it. Hopefully it'll be great and successful for you. But I just think he's massively overhyped for a guy who's won 25 games in 2 years. I just think that's mad for me. But
well, who is the damn? This is the problem. How do you get the next? How do you know unless you give De Zerbi a top job?
No, you don't. And all I can do is give my opinion on it. And I don't think it'll work. But
he never had a job.
But see, it's the trick. These managers.
Said that he isn't even. He is. A lot of people in the chat saying he isn't even on the short list, right? Because
not anymore. I don't think so.
I actually don't think so because the same people that told us Amorim might join.
He was a number 2. He'd never had a job.
I get.
But the thing is, these managers, when you bring them in, they're gonna need a club to go to first up to make their next step. The thing is, these clubs, these big clubs, don't want to take a risk on a manager that's unproven for fear of failing. That's the problem, and they're never gonna make that step up if they don't go. But that's the thing. Does your club want to be the guinea pig to this manager to see what they do? That's the problem. And if it fails,
look where they ended.
Well, who is there? I mean, Tuchel.
It's big risk, big reward. Well, close.
United won't touch Tuchel. They hated Mourinho for that.
Man United will definitely hire Thomas Tuchel.
And it looks like it's likely too.
Man United will hire Thomas Tuchel.
The fans would hound him out the same way they hounded Mourinho out.
Who cares, bro? They're linked to McKenna and Southgate. Thomas Tuchel is heaven.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm not a big fan of Thomas Tuchel.
I'm over the moon.
Thomas Tuchel is better than a championship manager. With all due respect to McKenna, I don't watch Ipswich Town play football.
No, but at United mode there is this.
But I have seen company
style. There is this history of playing style. Play a certain way. You must play the United way, etc., etc. They get Tuchel, it'll go down like a lead balloon, mate.
They'll be worse than us at the moment.
What is worrying is that we're talking about potential replacements for two of the best current managers, and De Zerbi is the one we're talking about as the best option. There's a worry out there then.
What about the Girona manager? What about Miguel, whatever he's called?
Oh, Miguel.
Is there a thing of getting managers from other leagues? Is there like a snobbery getting managers from other leagues as well? Is there a snobbery to that, do you think?
Yeah,
I think there is. I think there is. I think there is definitely.
I also think as well that whoever replaces Klopp and Pep are looking at the Wenger-Fergie situation going, nah, you're all right. I'll give it to someone else, thanks. First, let someone else go in there first. Because look at Unai Emery coming at Arsenal, look at David Moyes. I know people will say they were the wrong appointments and all that, but actually they've gone and done very good things after that. David Moyes has done an unbelievable job at West Ham, getting to be European football 3 years in a row, winning a trophy for the first time in 43 years. Unai Emery, look at what he's doing at Villa. So I think people are looking now going, do you know what? I don't want to be a David Moyes or an Emery and have to wait a few years for another job. I'll let someone else like De Zerbi go in there and let it fail, and then I'll take it after him. That's what I think I look at.
Funny you say that. I was listening to HUSAM and I even entertained this idea just for the sake of it being an idea, like bringing a Mourinho for 1 year and then get someone the year after that. But again, it's a big risk to bring in a manager to do something here and now.
Getting the name. It's the name.
Exactly. So I get it. And because he's got the history of winning things in the past, you still hold on to that. It's much like how we see all these clubs. Yeah, how you see all these clubs. Well, we should be bigger than this. It's like, okay, you were 10 years ago. You're not where you are now.
Listen, I get it. You get Mourinho for a year. What's his plan? How do you sign players? Who do you bring in from the academies? What do you do?
I get that 100%.
Mourinho. What's the target?
Yeah. Well, if he was to come to Liverpool, you challenge for a league. That's it.
Just put the club on hold for 12 months and wait till.
Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm saying. That doesn't happen. That can't happen. I agree. That can't happen. That's not reality. But some fans would entertain that idea. Even I thought for a year, I'm like, nah, too much of a risk for me, man. Like I'm thinking about it.
I want to
stuck with him.
Move on from Liverpool a little bit, but let's do super chat because I don't want to keep the guys for long. I want to speak about Manchester City and Brighton. Klopp is a yes man. He called fans all kids. Just last January, he always protected FSG, never called them out, rejected. We need a new midfielder. I'm gonna repeat what HUSAM said yesterday. There is not a lot of managers in the history of the sport that called out owners. You call out the owners, you get sacked. Antonio Conte, sacked, right? You call out the owners, you get sacked, my friend. You get sacked within months, right? Not a lot of people call out the owners. It doesn't happen often, Andrew. You guys are expecting Klopp to go out and say FSG this, FSG that, when they just dropped 100 or 100 plus million this summer. Guys, stop this bullshit. It's actually a bullshit narrative. Jurgen Klopp is not a yes man. He changed the club from top to bottom.
So when he joined to the job center.
AMT is saying, what if the next manager does differently, but the assets are there? You can sell your players. Look at Caicedo being sold for that much.
But that's if they perform. If they perform, Mo, that's a trick.
With style of play, they will always look good, bro. Listen, guys, we're up almost 800 people here, and I really want to reach 400 likes, guys. I want to reach 400, 500 likes, right, guys? Hit that like button. Last point is that Manchester City. Go ahead.
So, by the way, Merseyside derby, we need to win to keep up with Arsenal and City, and Everton need to win so they don't get relegated in case they get more points deducted. And Jota's out, which pissed me off massively yesterday when I found out. So, probably see Darwin starting again. If not, maybe moving Salah to the middle and having Diaz on the right because Gakpo was good against Fulham. I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting. I'll be up watching it. Day off here. In Australia, so good for me. I can watch the aftermath after, because if we drop points in this, then it's officially dead for me. Like game over. If we draw this game, heaven forbid lose, is game over, and it's going to be between Arsenal and City, and then probably goal difference will end up taking out that league, which would be Arsenal at the moment.
Did you see this news that Bernardo wants to go to Barcelona again or something?
Yeah, he's going, isn't he? They reckon.
And that's been a thing for ages.
It's not breaking news, Mo.
No,
Yeah.
it's like 3 hours ago.
No, I told you 6 months ago.
Yeah, all right.
You're at three hours ago. It's not news to City fans, mate. It's as soon as that release clause went in last summer, it was done deal. Well, whether he goes to Barcelona, it depends whether they can find the 50 million release clause. But yes, he will be leaving. That's why we're getting.
For Man City, though, you didn't like when I said yesterday, Martin, that Arsenal, if they win the league, will have a better starting point than Man City. And you didn't like it somehow.
I didn't agree with you.
Can I ask you something? Do you still think Arsenal can win the league first?
Yeah, of course can.
So you think you might drop points? Because a lot of people are saying City will not drop points.
For me, it comes if City beat Brighton and Forest, I think we win the league. Because it will, to Liverpool and Arsenal especially, Arsenal fans will be looking at Thursday night. That could be a banana skin. Brighton away. We get over Brighton away, then we go to Forest on the Sunday, and we get another W. Then we're top of the league. Oh, no, sorry, now we'll have a game in hand still. It puts pressure on Arsenal going into the Tottenham game.
Yeah.
You won't win tomorrow night because he's coming up against De Zerbi, mate. So he's going to have you. He's brilliant. He's the one that everyone wants. So I expect to see De Zerbi beat him.
There we go. No, the simple fact is, I think we win our next two. We'll win our because we're going to beat Wolves at home and we'll beat West Ham at home. So then
for sure. That's for
you're
sure.
down to the other two.
But you have 3 away games. And
Tottenham away is the last week of the season. People are talking like Tottenham away is next week. It's the last week of the season, sandwiched in between. So that's when we're playing. But that's why I think it's crucial. Brighton and Forest, I think City win the league. Because I don't care about performances. Win 6 games 1-0 for all I care. Don't care about performances. I don't care if we win 4-3.
Fulham away as well.
Yeah, but
they'll do Fulham.
I think Fulham seems to have got on the beach. I thought they'd be better against Liverpool.
yeah, the way they played.
Yeah, I did as well.
The way they played Liverpool is like they didn't care.
They're on a beach.
To enjoy themselves. They didn't want to win the game. They wanted to enjoy themselves.
So that's why I changed that. So yeah, Brighton and Forest are the two for me. But right, so back to your point. The reason I disagreed with is yes, they've won the league, but A, I think we'll spend more money in the summer, and B, we've got Pep Guardiola.
So it's about
because we don't win a league for one season does not mean that we've suddenly gone and disappeared. That's why we won.
Nobody said you disappeared. But if Arsenal win the league, you are actually saying that we have to spend to catch up, right?
No, City will spend no matter what. But whether City win the league or don't win the league, they will buy the exact same targets. The targets will not change.
What if Arsenal buy targets as well? Buy a good striker, buy a good midfielder, buy a centre back. Do you believe who do you believe is the better team this season overall? Now we're almost the season is almost over, and I don't want to have this. It depends on who wins the league. I want to really
11 or squad. No, 11 or squad.
No. Who you think have been the better team overall in the season? You both reached the quarterfinal of the Champions League. You're kind of like 1 point or 2 points behind with small margins. They won against you this season. They didn't lose against Manchester City. Everyone in the chat, who had been the better
margins? It was a deflection.
Exactly. So that's why it's not outrageous for me to say if Arsenal win the Premier League this season, they have a better starting point than Manchester City. It's not outrageous statement.
But we're also, you got to remember, I know we're not at the moment, but we're coming off the back of a treble.
Yeah, but that's last
Arsenal's
season.
first league title in 20 years doesn't mean they get a better starting point.
Guys, I am not comparing last season. It's the same as when I have this comparison with Rodri and Declan Rice, and people say to me, but Rodri won the treble. Well, I'm not comparing this Rice to Rodri's of last season. I'm comparing this Rice to Rodri of this season.
What's your justification, Mo, for that? Because I've not heard you say this before. So you think if we win the league, we're in a better starting point than City because we won the league?
Because Manchester City will have Manchester City.
So was Leicester City in a better starting point than everyone else when they win the league?
Actually, this actually is being fed by the narrative of what Martin had been telling me all season, that we will go out and spend massively this summer. They're talking about a complete revamp. But by the way, the word starting point, it means before the spending. Does that make sense, guys? Because the fact that you want to spend, that means you want to improve.
No, Mo, you didn't listen to what I said. We will spend on the same players whether we win the league or we don't. Do you think on the 24th of May, whenever it is, people start going negotiating? They're already negotiating now, Mo. They're already in there and doing it.
So you're actually proving my point, actually.
I'm not. I'm making. The point I'm making is it doesn't matter whether you're saying, oh, if they win the league. With Lucas Paqueta, if he gets cleared, he's coming in whether we won the league or haven't won the league.
So what if Arsenal sign, for example, Kimmich and get a top striker and get a top centre back and they have Timber back?
I don't think Arsenal will drop 200 million again.
If they win the league, I think they will.
They're going to have to bring in more players.
The only reason I would agree with what Mo
champs.
says, the only reason I agree with what Mo says is if Manchester City have more of a clear out than I'm expecting. So if KDB goes, I'm off to Saudi, Bernardo says I'm off to Barcelona, that's huge players to replace. So you don't know what you're going to get with it, people coming in. If they keep hold of what they've got, which is what I think Arsenal will do, and they upgrade, then I think Manchester City will be in a better place. If Arsenal keep what they've got and upgrade, but City don't, and they actually replace or try to replace KDB, Bernardo, a couple other players, then I think Mo's got a fair justification. But personally, I don't see.
Go back to my original point. Well, Leicester City in a better position when they win the league.
No, it's Leicester thing is why I love.
What you're doing, Mo, you're just looking at the winning the league part, and that's it.
Yeah. So defending champions, you're defending champs, you're in a better position.
Why winning the league makes a difference for Arsenal? Because I believe if Arsenal win the league this season, mentality-wise, of the players, maturity-wise of these players, take him to a different level. The manager experience, take him to a different level. No, I'm not saying he's going to be better than Pep or anything. I'm just saying that me and Dan have been doing shows now for a year, right? Everything that Dan has been saying is, I want this guy to get over the line. If he gets over the line, he proves everybody.
Show, we know every Manchester City content creator and fan knows you're sat with your Arsenal shirt on. It's well known within the fan base, mate. Don't ever think you're not known for that. You are.
I'm actually not at all. I am the one who.
You are known for it.
I am the one who. I am the one who did. I am the one who did this. I'm the one who did this, and they got upset.
That's brilliant.
I am the one who did this and they got upset.
That's great. Right? That's great. Finger pointing and everything. That's great.
I'm the one who did this and they got upset. Right?
No, you're not allowed in the air. Yeah, you're bad. Right, anyway.
Listen.
No, the point I'm making is we have the experience of losing a title and going back and winning it again.
When you win the league this season, Martin, I guarantee you'll win the league next season. If Man City win the league title this season, I guarantee you will win the league next season.
Depends if it's Pep's last season.
Even if it's Pep last season, if it's Pep not last
season. He must win. You can't let him out without winning the league. It's his last season. What are you doing?
Good for Pep now.
No, No, and like you said, you know this, Dan. We're after Bruno Guimaraes. We're after Picard. There's João Neves on the list. Frimpong. Who was the other one?
But why are you ignoring Arsenal that they are linked to good players as well?
I'm not. Listen, I've just said to you, he's been the better team. I think Arsenal played the best football all season.
Okay,
Don't ever deny that. So done that.
Okay, we are okay then. Okay, good.
But as Liverpool fans know, playing the best football doesn't mean you win the title.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I will
Arsenal
say
have
though,
the best attack.
This is what annoyed me a little bit about the low block. Let's celebrate low block that we all did last 2 weeks, because no one was celebrating low blocks when Mourinho was doing it at United or was doing it for Inter Milan.
They haven't done low blocks that much, guys. Oh my god!
You went into a Champions League final, scored a goal, and whatever you did, and defended up and didn't move.
When
you were in that Champions League final against
we
Madrid?
won 2-0, bro, against Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich, yeah.
No, the
We won
Real
2-0.
Madrid final. Tell me what you did.
We didn't play Real Madrid, not us. We never played Real Madrid. We played
Who
Bayern
did
Munich.
Milan play?
We played Bayern Munich in 2010 in the final.
Right,
Yeah,
sorry.
2-0. Milito scored
And
2 goals.
We scored. We played them. We didn't defend like we only defended low
Jose
block against
Mourinho
Bayern Munich.
has been crucified for defensive football.
Okay.
Right or wrong?
So what's the point?
No, the point I'm making is, let me explain. The point I'm making is that we have to be careful what we do, because 1 week we're celebrating one thing, in another week we're celebrating the other thing. Just the point again, because you play the best football doesn't mean you should win the league.
100%.
That's the point I'm trying to make. I don't care how a team plays. I don't care if you play.
There are many factors, Martin. There is mentality, there is composure, you can play the best football. There is there is tactical changes, there is a lot of things. Adaptability. Yeah.
Most favorite. Pass.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, guys,
he hates Jack Grealish. City fans love him, but he doesn't understand why.
I don't think Jack Grealish is very good. I don't think Jack Grealish is very good.
How you guys praise him, but I don't like
pass.
Anyway, guys, listen, this has been absolutely fantastic. Before we go on, I want to say something. 12 Man Podcast in the description, Dan Potts. Guys, the guy is putting in work daily, twice, 3 times sometimes, emergency meetings, solo shows. And I'm sure you'll be entertained. We have 700 people here still. And I'm sure that Dan can get 100 subs out of the stream. He's doing fantastic work daily. And I want to go and support this magnificent, fantastic guy. And he goes to games. He goes on AFTV, but his own channel is in the description. The Mancunian Way of, Martin's channel, daily content about Manchester City. Brilliant content with the guys. Absolutely fantastic discussions about Man City. A lot of talk, and they get into their own room and they talk about other clubs. So you would love to see that. Of course.
They just talk about you and your agenda on
the football club. Nick is an upcoming content creator. He's got that good setup, good talk, does everything, and we want to support him. We want to get Nick to over 1,000 subscribers because it makes a lot of difference for him. So please go and support Nick. Their channels are in the description. It's just one click. You don't have to do anything. You just click there, and it will take you to the channel. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell for them, and so you can know when they go live, right? It's very important for me that you guys do this, right? Please do that as well. And please turn on the notification bell for my channel. Tomorrow, it's LB and HUSAM. It's going to be an amazing show. Of course, HUSAM, win or lose, will be there. And also today, I'm on Straight Facts with Terry and Dan Lawless. We'll talk about, we'll wind up Dan Lawless, of course, because Arsenal won 5-0. That's absolutely on the agenda. And tonight, MHF after Liverpool, make sure to do that. MHF is in the description as well. Thank you, everybody that watched us. Thank you, Dan. Martin, appreciate you guys. Brilliant content. And we'll see you guys soon. And we're out of here, people.